Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we take apart some of the most complicated financial documents to reveal their inner workings. And today we're diving into a big annual report from Propanc Biopharma Inc., or PPCB if you like. Tickers, and let me tell you, this one has some wild swings that got our attention. Before we jump in, if you love getting straight to the point on financial filings, make sure you are subscribed and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out. We also have a growing community on Discord for more direct discussions and insights, so check out the link in the description below. So what is the story here? Propanc Biopharma is trying to revolutionize cancer treatment with a novel prenzyme therapy, and they've got some big plans and some even bigger financial numbers to dissect. We're going to break down their latest annual report to see what the numbers really say about their progress, their risks, and their future. This is a document filed with the SEC by Propanc Biopharma Inc., a biopharmaceutical company that is all about developing new cancer treatments. They're working on something called PRPA therapy that uses pancreatic prenzymes to target what they call cancer stem cells. Think of it as trying to stop cancer before it even has a chance to spread by tackling the root of the problem. They're in the early stages of development, but aiming for big things. We are looking at their annual report for the fiscal year ending the 30th of June 2025, and as you might expect for a company in this stage of development, the numbers are pretty stark. First up, let S talk about administration expenses, which are a massive headline number here. For the year ended the 30th of June 2025, administration expenses shot up to over $57 million. Compare that to just about $1.25 million for the previous year in 2024. That is an astronomical jump of more than $55 million. The company says this is mainly due to a huge increase in stock-based compensation for their officers and employees, which accounts for roughly $37.8 million. They also mentioned stock-based consulting and legal services, adding another nearly $18.2 million. When expenses skyrocket like this, it signals a major change in how the company is operating or perhaps compensating its key players. It certainly raises eyebrows if revenues are not matching this expenditure. And speaking of the bottom line, the net loss for the year ended the 30th of June 2025 was nearly $59 million. This is a massive increase from a net loss of about $1.8 million in 2024. The company attributes this to several factors, including the huge spike in administrative expenses we just talked about. Essentially, they are spending a lot more money and not bringing in any revenue from sales, yet meaning their losses are growing significantly. It is a tough pill to swallow for any company, but especially for investors hoping for progress. Now, let's look at where the cash is actually going. For the year ended the 30th of June 2025, net cash used in operating activities was over $405,000. This is actually a decrease from the previous year when they used nearly $935,000 in operating activities. While it sounds like good news that they used less cash, that is still cash leaving the company, and with a net loss of nearly $59 million, it really highlights how much they are burning through money to keep the lights on and fund their research. Where is all this money coming from? Well, primarily from financing activities. In the year ended the 30th of June 2025, they saw over $490,000 provided by financing. This is down from nearly $942,000 in 2024. This money likely comes from issuing more stock or taking on more debt, and it is crucial for them to keep bringing in this cash to stay afloat. They are essentially funding their operations through borrowing and selling shares, which is a common strategy for early-stage biotech companies. But it also comes with its own set of risks. And the cash situation is quite tight. As of the 30th of June 2025, the company had just over $12,000 in cash. That is a dramatic drop from about $21,000 in 2024. This extremely low cash balance combined with their significant operating losses shows just how dependent they are on external funding. It creates a very precarious situation where every day counts in securing more capital. Looking at their liabilities, we see something interesting with embedded conversion option liabilities. For the year ended the 30th of June 2025, these liabilities were over $403,000, which is up from about $133,000 in 2024. This signifies increased financial instruments that can be converted into stock and shows how complex their financial structure is becoming. It reflects the financial maneuvering they are doing to secure funding. Now, for a critical point, the company S auditors have included a going concern qualification in their report. This means they have substantial doubt about the company S ability to continue operating for at least the next 12 months. They cite the lack of revenue, significant losses, and the substantial amount of debt that is past its maturity date. This is a major red flag indicating that without new funding or some significant financial turnaround, the company could face serious trouble. It is the financial equivalent of a big warning sign saying proceed with caution. We saw a huge jump in administration expenses, and a big part of that is stock-based compensation. For the year ended the 30th of June 2025, they recognized stock-based compensation of over $55 million. This is a staggering figure compared to zero in the previous year. They are essentially giving out large amounts of company stock as compensation, which shows a strategy to conserve cash, but also dilutes the ownership of existing shareholders. Let S look at the outstanding shares. As of the 25th of September 2025, there were over 12.8 million shares of common stock issued and outstanding. This is up significantly from just under 8,000 shares, outstanding at the 30th of June 2024. This massive increase is due to all the stock issuances we discussed, including those for services rendered, debt exchanges, and warrant conversions. It means more people now own a piece of Propanc Biopharma. Now let's talk about the leadership. James Nathanielsi is the Chief Executive Officer and has been with the company since its beginning in all the way back to 2007. He also serves as Chief Financial Officer. His compensation for the year ended the 30th of June 2025 was over $563,000. A big chunk of this is in salary and bonus, with a significant amount also coming from pension contributions and a company car allowance. It shows he is the central figure driving this company forward and is compensated accordingly. Dr. Julian Kenyon is a director and the company's Chief Scientific Officer. His compensation for the year ended the 30th of June 2025 was around $35,000. He also has stock options and restricted stock units, which are subject to vesting conditions. He is a key person in the scientific side of the company. Joseph Zellinger is an independent director and brings a wealth of experience as a certified practicing accountant with 45 years in tax auditing, finance, and consulting. He also has significant expertise in property management and import-export businesses. His compensation for the year ended the 30th of June 2025 was not listed in the table, but it is typical for directors to receive fees and potentially stock options for their service. He is a critical independent voice on the board. The company has a lot of financing agreements, and several of them with entities like GS Capital Partners LLC are complex. These involve convertible redeemable notes, which essentially means debt that can be turned into stock. The details of these agreements are extensive, with original issue discounts, complex conversion prices, and default interest rates. It paints a picture of a company navigating a challenging financial landscape by utilizing various debt and equity instruments, often with significant discounts and penalties. Looking at the balance sheet for the 30th of June 2025, we see total assets of nearly $20 million. That is a massive jump from just over $72,000 in 2024. Much of this increase comes from prepaid expenses, which are costs paid in advance for future services largely related to equity instruments granted for consulting and advisory services. On the liabilities side, total liabilities are over $5.7 million, which is also up significantly from about $3.8 million in 2024. This growth in both assets and liabilities reflects the company's increasing activity, but also its growing financial obligations. The net loss available to common stockholders in 2025 ballooned to almost $59 million from about $2 million in 2024. The loss per S-share is also incredibly high at over $14 per S-share. This indicates that the company is currently not profitable and the value per S-share is heavily impacted by the massive losses. Now for my take on all this. Propanc Biopharma is in a very high-risk, high-reward sector. Their core idea of targeting cancer stem cells is scientifically promising, and the orphan drug designation for pancreatic cancer is a positive step. However, the financial picture is concerning. The enormous increase in administrative expenses, largely due to stock-based compensation and no revenue from product sales, indicates they are heavily reliant on funding. The going concern qualification is a serious warning sign that they need to secure additional capital quickly to continue operations. Their strategy seems to be focused on reaching development milestones to attract future investment or a licensing partner. The complexity of their financing agreements, especially with entities like GS Capital Partners LLC and the numerous warrants and convertible notes, add layers of financial risk and potential dilution for existing shareholders. The future of Propanc Biopharma hinges almost entirely on their ability to successfully navigate the clinical trial process, secure more funding without excessive dilution, and ultimately get their therapy to market. What are your thoughts on Propanc Biopharma's filing? Does the science behind PRP outweigh the current financial challenges? Let me know your opinions in the comments below. If this deep dive helped you understand this filing better, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe for more. We love connecting with you all, so join our Discord community linked in the description to continue the conversation. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time on Corporate Decoder.